Good evening, friends. Welcome to Up Late with Chloe and Glenn. I'm Chloe,
And I'm Glenn.
wherever you are in this little thing. And this is a wonderful little offshoot segment from the Good Movie Monday podcast, where we like to have a cuppa and a chinwag about what we find interesting in movie news this week.
That is right. Welcome to everybody. And go and listen to Good Movie Monday because we're back on the mic and we're a couple of episodes in. And as of this week, we just relaunched our giveaways page. So if you go to goodmoviemonday.com, there's prizes to be won. You can pick up DVDs, movie passes, drive-in passes, all kinds of cool stuff. So
Sweet.
get on it.
Get on
That's about as professional as we get.
And it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, that's it. What is it you said last week? That's my jam.
That's my jam. Just creating havoc everywhere we go.
Yep. All right.
How was your movie week? Full of stuff?
I've been real busy. I've watched a lot of movies. Well, no, I haven't. I've watched a lot of stuff. Not really watched many movies in full. Although just before we picked up tonight to record, I was just watching some Jackass on the TV. So that was a good time. I just thought I'd I did Jackass 3.5. I like the 0.5 versions of these things. They're a bit more fun. Yeah.
You know, I listened to Johnny Knoxville on another a podcast or something that the other day, and he is so interesting. Just like it's like Johnny Knoxville is this whole other persona from him. He's not Johnny Knoxville. I was quite surprised about that.
I mean, for many years before Jackass came along, he was an actor, just,
Yeah.
in LA doing his thing. He popped up in all, several films before Jackass came along.
But, and he was also a journalist as well.
Yes. Steve-O has a podcast too. That's a good one. Records it from his trailer, like a camper van type of thing, a bit like Tom Green does.
I've heard bits and pieces from him as well.
If you can tolerate his voice for longer than 10 minutes, then it's a good show. It's, he does get quite deep. Although there's a few that I question. Like he did the Corey Feldman episode, and Corey Feldman's trying to get deep on him. Corey Feldman's trying to tell him stories of his childhood with the abusers and all that. Steve-O didn't know how to take it, so he's like laughing at these stories, and it just felt so awkward to watch.
Yeah.
But you get that way. You're in an awkward situation and don't know how to respond. Laughter is the first thing you go to.
It's definitely where I go to whenever I get a little bit nervous or awkward. I definitely start trying to. I'm a very self-deprecating person myself, so I always try to make fun of the situation, and it's definitely not appropriate a lot of the time. So I have to kind of.
As horrible as Corey Feldman's stories are, because they are, he's a very hard person to take seriously. Because he's a bit of a lunatic, and so it's just very hard. But anyway, I don't know.
Just call him Teddy Duchamp. Like he is, he does embody that character quite a lot.
Piece of shit has 1,000 eyes.
No, so good. I used to use the insult on people that I used to hate, and they used to think I was really weird. But I used to tell people that I was going to rip their head off and shit down their neck, and they didn't get the reference, so they just thought I was a plain old lunatic.
Yeah, it's a pretty graphic insult.
Yeah, well, don't piss me off. So
I mean, I've just got this vision of like sitting on a neck like it's a toilet or a potty. It's gross.
What? You got to squat. I'm a lady. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very Jackass.
Mm.
It's very Jackass. So there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Full circle.
That was me winning something. I don't know. I was shooting an arrow. Yay!
Yeah. the cherub in you.
Me.
Have you got any movie stuff to talk about? I've been struggling to keep tabs on what's going on in the last week with movie stuff. I've got some stuff, but not much.
I watched The Adam Project.
Excellent. And I was talking that up to you. Did I talk it up too much?
No, not at all. Oh. I was a bit skeptical to begin with. I didn't really want to watch it. But you were right in everything that you said. It is Ryan Reynolds. It is him, but it is toned down. Yeah. And the soundtrack is fucking bomb. Yeah. It is, as the youth say, fire. It is fire.
Is that the evolution of lit?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so lit is so like last gen.
Yeah, people started calling it Liddy, and it just reminded me of other things. So
Yeah, it totally does.
I'm happy with fire. So yeah, the soundtrack was just fucking great. It was very Star Wars-esque. It was awesome. I really liked it. And
I'm really
the
glad you
ending
did.
was like I was tears. I had tears.
Cool. I'm really glad you liked it. And I was trying to describe to you what sort of maybe the first act or the first half of the film was like, and I kept saying it's a throwback to the 80s and all this. But then I read somewhere the other day a review of it, and someone described it as pure Amblin, which is Steven Spielberg's company from the 80s, and that's exactly how I'd put it. Like, it's pure Amblin. It's sort of that that 80s childlike dreamscape kind of thing. And yeah, I thought
that set was just beautiful.
Well, the interesting, I don't remember if I was talking about this on the mic on the podcast or if it was in conversation at the desk between shows. But speaking of like the production, it was shot in my old neighborhood in Canada, and so
yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
I'm watching it, and I had to pause it and take screenshots and send to my mum. I'm like, have a look at this. It's the shops that we shopped at. Like, have a look at that. So, like, it's one of those movies when it's, like, right there, like, literally a minute from my house. Like, you could just walk to it. So, to watch those scenes where him and the kid are walking across the street into the chemist and all that, that's my hood. So that was very cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
But what I loved about it, and this is probably the most I'll commit to the mic about this because I've talked about it for, what, two weeks now? Like, on the show, on last week's video. But I just love Ryan Reynolds looking at himself in a mirror and coming to the realization of how annoying he actually is.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it, because he comes into it with his Ryan Reynolds persona, and then he's faced with the Ryan Reynolds persona, and he goes, "Oh, I don't like that." You know, that's cool.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think you talked it up enough. I think it was
cool.
Yeah.
My only
exceeded the expectations.
Yeah, suck on that, Chloe's friend who didn't like it.
Yeah, bitch.
The only thing
she just had a baby today, so we might tone that down a little bit.
Congrats.
Congrats.
I hope it's a little Ryan Reynolds. Catherine Keener's character is the only thing I didn't like about the film. I think she was far too caricatured and classic villain type and just a bit over the top. But otherwise, good movie.
I agree with you on that. Yep.
What else? I did read or hear that Judd Apatow is ready to make This Is 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
He said
yes.
He said that he's wanted to make it for a long time. Obviously, a few years ago was too soon. If he makes it a few years from now, it's too late. He's like, this is where he has to make it, and if he doesn't make it now, he won't make it at all. And so he really wants to get it off the ground. I can't see why it won't happen. If he wants to do it, it will be done. So
I think that's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, which, you know, and This Is 40 was a spin-off from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the fact that this universe exists...
Forgetting Sarah Marshall or Knocked Up?
Knocked Up. No, it's not Knocked Up. I think it was Forgetting Sarah Marshall, wasn't it? Oh, no, that was Get Him to the Greek. That was the spin-off from that. It was Knocked Up. You're right.
Knocked Up, yeah.
It's like a Judd Apatow verse. Fucking hell.
I know, it's great. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
I know, for someone that doesn't usually dig sequels, like this is one of those sort of things that you can get your teeth into because it's
absolutely
it's sidequels.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I don't see this as a sequel per se. I see it as a separate movie in that same sort of universe.
Well, but This Is 50 will be a sequel, so
that's true. However, as annoying as she is, I love Leslie Mann, and bloody ageless Paul Rudd can do anything he wants.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
It.
Big fan, and the interesting thing about for This Is 40 for me was I was approaching that age when they made it. Like, wasn't quite there, but I was roughly that age. And Paul Rudd wears a Ween t-shirt in that movie, right? And that's the band that I idolize. Like, you know, if I had a tattoo, it would be them, right? That's how much I love them. And so to see him rock up in this movie wearing a Ween t-shirt as a fan, and I believe he wore it as a fan in real life and he brought it to the set, I'm like, it's my jam. Like, I was like,
it's my jam.
Yeah, fucking oath. This guy gets it. And no one else did. Like, no one in the world except for those few Ween fans would have understood that. And I'm like, oh, yes.
Yeah. He's pretty great. in all aspects, he's pretty great. He caters to so many demographics. He's just an all-round, just
Did you ever pick
pure
up on
greatness.
his? Did you ever pick up on his Mac and Me joke that he used to do on the talk shows?
With the thing falling down the cliff. It makes me laugh just thinking about it now.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
Was it Conan or one of those shows? And every time he plugged a movie, they'd throw to a clip, and it was Mac and Me, which Ben and I talk about a lot because we went to the cinemas and saw that movie.
Wow.
It's the movie. It's the movie that was produced by McDonald's, and so there is McDonald's in every scene of that movie.
Oh, yeah. Mac and Me. I get it. Wow.
Yeah, it's like E.T. produced by Ronald McDonald.
That's creepy. That's creepy. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. There was also a movie in the late 90s called Bye Bye Love that had Paul Reisner, Randy Quaid, and someone else fairly big. Can't remember. Oh, Daniel Stern maybe. And it was about 3 dads that were divorced. And so they only had custody of their kids on every second weekend, right? But the only way they could be with their kids is at a mutual public space. And so they chose McDonald's. So every scene in this movie takes place in a McDonald's restaurant. And they're trying to make this legitimate comedy with these legitimate actors surrounded by McDonald's. It's so weird. So weird.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Big Daddy as well, when they talk about McDonald's a lot. They go for a Happy Meal, but it's breakfast time and they won't give him a goddamn Happy Meal. And
yep.
And you just find it working its way into so many different places
there. Adam Sandler, the product placement king, because he has Subway and Happy Gilmore. He even fucking had a sub on the camera.
He's great at it. He knows what he's doing. Those movies kill. They do. They're cult classics.
Yep. So anyway, that was my first piece of news. Have you got something there you want to reel off?
I did watch the trailer for the new Fantastic Beasts movie, Dumbledore's Secrets, and it looks good. It definitely looks like a Harry Potter film, which I absolutely love. I don't know if I'm so excited to see it. I just feel like it is a little bit removed, or I could, just not have that much interest in the moment. I don't know.
I reckon you will get excited when it's released. I think you will. And what do you think of Mads Mikkelsen's look in the film being completely different to how Johnny Depp's look was?
Yeah, that was really interesting, and I actually got quite confused at first because I didn't realize who he was supposed to be. I think I would have appreciated a little bit more if they had not completely copied the look, but at least taken some inspiration over the character.
I guess they took it as an opportunity to sort of recalibrate a little bit. I mean, it's not a lot different from the difference between the Dumbledores back in the first couple of movies when Richard Harris, and Michael Gambon came and took his.
But you got the idea though. Like you got who,
kind of. They did turn him in. I felt like they turned him from a wizard into a hippie though.
Bit cooler. He was a bit more cooler.
Cool. He was just new age, hanging down at Warrandyte.
He was hip with the kids,
Yeah, crystals.
He was down. He knew his star sign. It kind of it does remind me of that. And I'm wondering how Dumbledore got from so cool and suave like Jude Law to, Michael Gambon. But everyone has their evolution.
It must be a wizardry rite of passage.
Must be. As soon as you hit I don't know, 60.
It's some potion that you put on your nuts and hair grows everywhere. I don't know, something like that. But speaking of Harry Potter, I did read this week that Daniel Radcliffe has put it on the record that he does not want to come back and do the Cursed Child.
Oh, that would be so disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, don't make it at all, I guess. If he doesn't come back, don't make it, because it's the only kind of... I mean, you could make it. You could recast the whole fucking thing, right? You could just have new actors playing adult versions, but those faces and those personalities are so ingrained in that culture that it's probably not even worth doing. Just leave it as a stage show.
I would look, if you can't get everybody that needs to be on board, I wouldn't do it at all, because nobody's going to be 100% satisfied with that. Artistic license or whatever. It's such a fan-filled franchise that it needs that kind of.
Yep, I agree. Although it could be a very strategic maneuver just to get some more money. Like, I'm not coming back, and then they say, well, how about we give you this much? Okay, I'll come back.
I don't see him as that type of person, but you could be right.
I don't know. Like, he might, he loves his fans, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does a turnaround and does come back at some point. But whatever. I mean, I don't really care about it, so just thought
I would love it. I would.
I know you care about it. That's why
I
I brought it up.
I would love it, but but what can you talking about stage shows? I'm going to see Hamilton this week.
Yes, I know.
Have you watched it on Disney?
Yeah,
that's technically a movie, I would say, if it's on Disney and it's stage show.
It's not. It's a live performance.
Fine. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. We can move on.
No. I'm glad you're excited for it. You love it. You've told me that before. I'm not a massive fan. I don't dislike it either. So it's neither here nor there for me. But
so, do you not like Les Mis as well?
No, I don't like Les Mis. Like, I'm very funny when it comes to stage show musicals, and I do love stage show musicals. It's not that I'm prudish about them or anything like that, but there are just some that really do not do it for me at all, and they're just some.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And there's that.
There's that. But I hope you enjoy it.
I had never seen Les Mis until I saw the actual movie, and as a musical person, I know that's very blasphemous and I shouldn't do that. But Eddie Redmayne can sing, gosh dang, and Hugh Jackman is just a revelation, and Anne Hathaway didn't annoy me as much as she normally does in that movie. So there you go. There's a little.
Well, you conveniently left Russell Crowe out.
Did I?
It's a bit like when Gerald Butler came and did Phantom of the Opera. It's like, God damn it. Like, one of the most iconic voices in characters in musical history, and you've got Gerald Butler, who can't sing a fucking note to save himself.
When did he do Phantom?
There was Joel Schumacher, the director, made Phantom of the Opera in like 2003 or 2004, and it had... do
you mean Gerard Butler, or...
Yeah, what did I say?
Gerald?
Oh, Gerard Butler. Yeah, Gerald Butler. Like, Gerald the Butler.
Gerard?
Gerard Butler. Gerald.
Jerry.
Yeah, Gerald Butler. Gerard Butler. Yes, he did Phantom of the Opera back in the day with Emmy Rossum. Did I even pronounce her name right?
I didn't even know. Yeah, you did actually. Rossum,
Minnie Driver, which is the silliest fucking name in the world. The whole production, Minnie Driver. Come on, if you drive a Mini, you're a Mini Driver. I love her.
I love her.
Yeah, I know. Well, I like her too. She's fucking horrible in Phantom of the Opera, I've got to say.
Is she really?
Yeah, because she plays Carlotta, who on the stage is a big, fat opera singer. And in this one, she's skinny and is a diva. And it's like, it's not the character that she's supposed to be. Anyway, terrible adaptation in terms of the casting, but the production is probably as good as you can imagine a Phantom of the Opera production being. Like, it's spot on with the sets and all that kind of stuff. So worth a look. I mean, I say how much I think it sucks, but I go back to it a lot. So because I just love Phantom of the Opera, that's one of the ones I do enjoy.
Fair enough. I've not seen that one, and I didn't know that he could sing. So
well, he can't. That's the point.
Oh, seems like very bad casting.
It's very bad casting indeed. Like, I mean, yeah, there are so many theatrical theatre performers that could have come in and done this. Anyway.
And I bet they're all fucking kicking themselves that he got cast. And they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, look, I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber was behind it. He produced it. He was like, yeah, I approve. This is, it's like more like Hollywood is just throwing themselves at you and you're just swept up in it. But,
yeah.
Anyway, where do we go from there? There's a Play-Doh movie coming.
A what movie?
Play-Doh.
Really? Okay.
From the creators of The Big Sick, which was one of my favorite comedies of whatever year that came out, and Crazy Rich Asians. So they're coming together to make Play-Doh the movie, which I'm gonna guess is a bit like Lego Movie or something like that.
Is it gonna kind of look like Gumby?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's stop motion, although I don't think it will be. I reckon it'll be animated, like computer animated.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. I don't care either. They just announced it, so I thought I'd bring it up. Did you used to eat Play-Doh?
Absolutely.
Damn straight. Good.
I still feel like I would want to sometimes. Like it's just
I
very
had it recently.
salty. Amuse bouche.
I went to play with my niece and nephews, and they've got lots of Play-Doh.
It even
And
smells good, you know.
when they weren't paying attention, it's salty as fuck.
Yeah, that's what makes it bloody delicious.
Yeah, that's right. You should put that on your toasties.
Oh, that'd be so good on that toasty. A little bit of Play-Doh.
Chloe made a toasty, by the way, people. That's just a reference to her personal
Not
Instagram
a toasty,
or
the
Facebook.
toasty.
Yeah, it was very close to a Cubano, I must say. And the Cubano is my favourite sandwich. You weren't far off it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I had the spreadable pickles, and I don't I like spreadable pickles, but I would much rather actual pickles.
Which a Cubano is actual pickles, and it's actual like roast pork. Then the mayonnaise is more of a Dijon mayonnaise, so it's like a mustardy mayonnaise. And anyway,
that sounds fucking delicious.
It's the greatest sandwich on the planet, to be honest with you. And every time we go on holiday or something, I always find somewhere that does a Cubano. It's the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for that because that sounds phenomenal. Yeah, I made a toasty. It was great.
Excellent highlight of the show.
I was relishing in my last day of isolation, so I decided to make a few TikToks, and that was one of them, I guess.
That's right. Next, you have you'll have Gordon Ramsay doing a duet with you.
I'd die. I would die. I love Ramsay.
He'd rip you to shreds.
Fucking raw.
Champagne ham. What's that? Champagne ham. Fucking hell.
Go slaughter the pig yourself, you lazy bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
that got dark.
It did. So just give everybody a heads up if you do listen to Good Movie Monday. The next episode we do is Oscars. So this coming Monday, it's all about the Oscars, and we're going to predict who we think is going to win. We won't talk about our predictions now. We'll save it for the show, but it should be fun. I mean, the Oscars.
Wear a ball gown when I record my segment.
Not many people give a shit about the Oscars anymore, so we're going to kind of make it a bit more fun. We will predict them, and the episode will drop on the morning of the Oscars, so if you listen straight away in the morning, you can sort of see how wrong we were later in the day. What else? So yeah, definitely get on that. We're also going to go back and talk about some of our favourite Oscar films from yesteryear when the Oscars were good, and the movies actually meant something.
Funny that. Things change, Glenn. Things change.
Things do change. We'll get into that on the show.
You do that.
Well, you're going to be part of it. You're going to be lending your thoughts.
I sure am. I got heaps of opinions. Just ask me. There are so many good movies that should have been up for Oscars over the years, and it fell by the wayside. Fucking Hollywood politics, but I'm sure you and Mr. Boobs will talk all about it on Monday.
Yeah, we definitely plan to, and Samantha is going to join us on that show, so it'll be three of us.
Sam, yay!
Yeah, yeah. Look, there's quite a few movies that should have won or should have at least been considered and never were, and are clearly the better films. But yeah. That's a teaser, people. You have to listen
to find out more.
Yeah, we finally got our shit sorted on iTunes, by the way, as well. Because we were like iTunes. Every time you'd go in to listen to the show, it was only picking up, it stopped listing our episodes from October of last year, like our Halloween show, and we couldn't fucking work out why. And last week we finally fixed it, and thank God. And then it was like an avalanche of episodes just going ding, 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 ding. But it's back.
Everyone's
thank God.
like, yeah.
Because people listen to us either on Spotify or iTunes. They're the main places. So I was getting really fucking annoyed that iTunes was not playing ball with us. But they are now.
I am definitely a Spotify girl. Just putting it out there. I'm definitely a Spotify girl.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. You're a Spotify girl.
I am.
Oh my God.
Does this,
cute.
We've been stretching this for a while. Does it mean we've got nothing to talk about?
I had something else written down. I was just trying to find it.
Because I've got other things written down, but I'm just looking at them going, no, it's not even worth talking about.
It's not even worth talking about. Yeah, I did see something for the fact that the second part of June could open up a third part of June, and I know how much you hated the first part of June, so I wanted to know, as a sequel-loving person, what you thought about that.
Well, I mean, Dune is a series of books. It can go as long as it wants to, right?
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah, yeah. So it
This is
doesn't
where I
bother me.
fall behind. I don't know where all this kind of stuff comes from. So
Yeah, Dune is like for lack of better phrase, it's a space opera. Like it's a series of books that go on. Like there's been several miniseries with Susan Sarandon. Like you got Dune,
oh yeah.
Children of Dune, and all these other things. And clearly, the Dune that just released onto home video a couple of weeks ago was part one of part two. So it'll just keep going. As long as people are willing to buy tickets and enjoy it. I mean, that's up for the Oscar. Let's talk about a movie that should not be up for an Oscar. That's one of them. Fucking hell.
I should have seen it. I should have watched it before the Oscars came up, because I don't.
You know what? I'm going to go back and watch it again. I will, because there are things I like about it. Like you said that I hated it, but I didn't hate it. It did nothing for me. I think that's more
Cinematically, and the way it looks, I think is that what's capturing people's attention in terms of Oscar-worthy like recognition.
Well, I mean, you only have to look at the lineup of films on the Oscar nominations. There's no credibility this year, like really, like so. I don't think you can really say why that one has been nominated when you've got like, as much as I love Spielberg, West Side Story should not be nominated for Best Picture. As much as I understand that people love it, Don't Look Up is not Oscar worthy. Like, why is that in there? Like, there's so many movies that just come off it. Like, we've got so many better films throughout the year, and it just comes down to the politics and them trying to find a way to appeal to the greater market, right?
But could it be COVID related as well? Like there's just not a lot to choose from because...
No, because it's been a decline for a number of years. Like the ratings for the Oscars have dropped off quite a lot in the last 5 years, and it's ever since. Like, I mean, I'm going to sound like that guy again. It's the Marvel Disney thing, right? Because it used to be 5 films nominated for Best Film, right? Which meant the competition was really stiff. But then there was a complaint that Dark Knight Rises was not considered for Best Film, right? Because Heath Ledger was up for Best Actor, supporting actor, and won posthumously. But because that didn't get the recognition, there was this campaign to, we need these big blockbuster tentpole films to be recognised for an Oscar. So then they opened it up to 10 movies, so those ones would get more chance of being nominated, and yet they still don't. Like, Black Panther's the exception to the rule.
Right.
I just, yeah. So I think
I was, as you were saying that, I was trying to think about a superhero movie that has even gotten a look in, and apart from Black Panther, I can't think of one.
Yeah, no. As Jarrett said on our show this week, like, how does Black Panther get an Oscar nomination and yet the new Spider-Man doesn't? Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all politics. It's all just, social politics, and it's good and all to have social politics, but, like, you can see through it. It's transparent what they're doing.
Right.
And the credibility and the prestigiousness of the awards is gone. And also... people are sick of seeing celebrities up on their pedestal in their little bubbles trying to preach what we should be doing, when they're the ones fucking living a contradictory life, So
social media shows us so much these days that it's so hard for them to do that now. So a lot of them don't even bother, and then we don't want anything to do with them because we know how much of an asshole they are.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I mean, it'll never happen, but part of me wants them to open up the Oscars into much more of a People's Choice Awards. No longer, like, we shouldn't have these films nominated by industry peers, because I think there's 2,000 people that vote. Look, no disrespect, but I saw, like, on Facebook, Pat Proft is a comedy writer in Hollywood. He's made some of the great slapstick comedy films. He votes. Like, he's on the voting committee, right? I'm like, there are people that don't make great films as far as, prestigious films that are voting. Like, I just don't understand where they're drawing all these people from and how they're selecting and why they're selecting. And that's no disrespect to Pat Proft, because he's a fucking hero of mine. But I just don't like the mechanisms behind it all. So I kind of think they should do it more of a People's Choice Awards, that we, the viewer, who actually are the ones paying money to watch these films, should have a say in how it works. And they're trying to introduce something like that where you can vote on Twitter or something for one category only, like the People's Award. But then again, it opens itself for Trolls and fucking.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
suddenly, the Play-Doh movie's up for Best Picture next year. You know.
It might be really good.
Single-handedly, the greatest laugh I've heard on the show.
That came out of nowhere. It was very funny.
So much so that I held my laugh internally so I could let you get all the mic.
I haven't snorted this episode yet, so there had to be something.
That's true. That's true. We've run the clock out anyway, so just in time. You finished your drink.
I did, yeah. For the
Awesome.
last little dregs.
Awesome. Well, thanks, and back again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me yet again.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Thanks for having me. Like it's our show.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me. What?